I'm really hoping I don't have any apple in my teeth. That'd be embarrassing. I feel much better now that I've eaten something. I tried shooting this video a few minutes ago and I felt like I was going to just kill something. Food does the body good. So, anyway. I'm Dustin Phelps, and I want to show you a concept that I did for a Pepsi logo if Pepsi had remained the 6th largest military power in the world. I'm not making the story up. At one point in time in history, actually not too terribly long ago, Pepsi was the 6th largest military power in the world because the Soviet Union sold an entire fleet of naval ships to Pepsi for Pepsi. Yeah, they liked their Pepsi a lot. I'm not going to go into all the details of the story, but it's very fascinating, and you can go check it out on Not Exactly Normal. There's a guy's YouTube channel I just checked out, and he covers the Pepsi Soviet Union fleet naval power thing. So anyway, go check that out. I also found the story on, Business Insider. So I originally came across the story because I was hanging out with some of my housemates and I was saying, hey, guys, I want some inspiration. I want just some crazy logo ideas, and so just shoot something at me and I'll try to come up with my best concept for it. And one of the guys said, do a logo for Pepsi's warship fleet. And I just thought he was crazy. But anyway, go check it out. I know you're probably curious now, as I was, which then I checked out the story. Point being, I think it's a really cool mashup, and I want to continue to do a series of what if logos. I think it's just a really cool idea. You take something maybe that's already existing and put it in a what if scenario, kind of like how Marvel does their little what if things. I think it's Marvel, maybe it's DC. But anyway, yeah, I just think it's cool to do mashups like that and just kind of see what you can get out of it. It's a good way to stretch your creative legs. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to show you a bit of my process, just the steps that I took in coming up with this concept. Yeah, so let's dive into it. So here we are. I just started with the Pepsi logo. As you can see here, I actually used 2 different versions of the Pepsi logo as inspiration, and I'll explain why here in a second. This one on the right is a little older. I think it was designed, just by the looks of it, looks like 90s, early 2000s kind of design, where you have a lot of detail and 3 kind of bevel effects. It looks like the work was most likely done in Photoshop. And then on the left was the redesign, that it kind of has this look of someone like opening their mouth, or like a smile going on right through here. And actually, personally, I'm not a huge fan of it. I totally, get the idea behind that. It still feels like the older logo, but it has maybe a little more character to it. So I totally get that. I don't think it's an ugly logo by any means, but I think there's something just really kind of nice about the symmetry of the original. So I really liked that, but I really was digging the bright colors of the rebrand. So that was kind of where I started. So then obviously I needed the Pepsi logo to then have a Navy military look to it. So I went and looked at the branding of the United States Navy. But what I really liked about this older one is, it has the ropes, it has the chains. It feels just very much Navy. So there were things about this I liked that I wanted to explore. So that's kind of where I started. So coming down here, we can see, I was taking the balance of the older logo where it was nice and symmetrical. I love just the simple form, the simple shape of this, almost like a watery kind of stream flow going through the circle, and then the 2 separations of color. You actually end up getting this red, white, and blue, which is very American. So it kind of gave this project a really good start. But again, I really liked the new red and blue that they're using currently, so I pulled that in. So did a simple tracing, and then pulled the colors from there. So far, pretty simple. I'm not really doing anything groundbreaking. But what I started to notice is when I do like rebrands or reconcepts, if I don't have to take it out in left field, then I'm not going to. If there's really simple, small things I can do to something to just create something completely new, but that's still familiar, that's what I want to go for. A lot of times when you're doing rebranding, you want to think about what is familiar, what do people know, so when they see your logo and they're familiar with maybe the older version of it, they can make a mental connection with those visual similarities. So anyway, from here, I did notice that the blue was on the bottom, and I thought that was kind of cool because it already felt like water. It's like, whoa, I've already got a really nice start here. I got something I can play with. But I wanted to add a detail that would make it more obvious that the blue represented water. And I feel like I could start using that to communicate that nautical navy feel. So what I did is I added a little loop in here, and this took a few iterations to get this look, but I started really digging this. I was like, this is kind of starting to feel like both a nautical navy look, but also still feels very much like Pepsi. But I wasn't a huge fan of the curve that I had developed, so I changed it up. Okay, I'm not sure. I mean, I am actually sure what happened. My battery died. Sorry about that. So where were we? Yeah, I was talking about just how I didn't like the curve of the wave thing. So I worked on that a bit more. I introduced a much smoother looking kind of curve to it that would still work with the bottom blue area, and I ended up with this, and I really like this a lot. It actually has a curve, I think, that complements all the other curves that are in here, whereas this one felt like it was kind of like pointing at this other line, and it just kind of felt awkward. It didn't feel like it was actually flowing. It felt like it was fighting against what was already there. And so, I wanted something that still felt like the Pepsi logo. It still felt like it was working in unison with what was already there. So I think this just worked a lot better. So from here, I really started exploring a lot more opportunities. Then I started exploring a little bit more with types. So I'm going to kind of show you what I was doing down here. Open up my properties panel over here. There was a couple different typefaces I was playing with. Let's see, we had Source Sans Pro, Heinberg, which I think was part of a pack that I got off of Creative Market. Then I think this is Den. Oops. No, this is not Den. I think Den was something that I did play around with, but this is Holtzman. So I liked these because I wanted something that both felt like it would communicate some of that new Navy branding that I showed you earlier, but also maybe felt a little bit like an older sans serif typeface. And I felt like these were styles that work together well to create that look. So I'm still exploring, I'm still playing around with ideas. I really favor this one overall. This is the Source, just because I just like its weight. It just feels good. I liked the way the S and the C felt. But from here, I really started going crazy. So I started combining all those things I was talking about earlier. So you can see here, I'm playing around with, and actually I think, yeah, these were actually using some of the other version, which I don't know why I was using in the mock-up or playing around with the logo here, but I did anyway. But I was trying to get that rope look that I really was digging with, the more traditional U.S. Navy patch. So I was kind of exploring some ideas with that, and I don't completely dislike it, but there was kind of some issues I was having with it, as it wasn't quite sitting right with me. You can see I was really kind of going crazy. I'm just showing you everything at once. I think all of our artboards look like this at some point, where it's just literally all chaos. Really, all the other slides I just showed y'all, it wasn't organized like that before I started making the video. So I'm trying to be more organized in my process, but we all know how it really is. Anyway, I really started liking when I added the gold rope, because that actually looked more like that Navy logo I showed you earlier. You can see I also explored some ideas with just using the word Navy. This concept came from the idea that Pepsi isn't just its own Navy, but Pepsi basically owns the Navy now. So it's just Navy, it's just the US Navy, but it's owned by Pepsi, which I think might be a scary thought. Who knows? But anyway, so in here I was kind of playing with even more of kind of like an old typeface look with a PepsiCo, really exploring some different brand ideas. But I really feel like I started getting into a groove when I was combining the icon that I had already created with the word Navy. And this is where I really started liking what was happening. You can see here, I kind of basically just stretched the logo that I had here, and then modified and like basically took out parts of Navy. So now you've got that, that whoosh, whoosh kind of Pepsi flow thing going through the Navy, and you still have the indication of this wave coming through. Obviously this is a bit of a different of a curve, but I had to have something that would work for the A. So this took a bit of finagling, but I feel like it was starting to hit the best of both worlds. So I was really liking where this was heading, and ultimately this is really where I landed. I still think there's other kind of cool things that I was playing around with here. But at the end of the day, something that we have to ask ourselves as graphic designers is where is this going to live? How is it going to work best? In what situations, is this logo going to be seen? And what is the most versatile version of this logo? That's why so many logos went flat. They changed from their Photoshopped based, 3D looking logos to things that were simpler, things that were flatter, things that were purely vector based, because those logos you could put them anywhere. You could scale them without worrying about losing quality. Just managing the files are easier when it's all vector. So those are just things that we consider as graphic designers. So I think ultimately something like this kind of works if it's a patch. Even though I think this works, I really just love Navy with the Pepsi logo going through it. Something about that, I think it's simple, it's clean. I particularly love it when you can just have the word of the brand and you manipulate it just so it's unique to that brand. And I feel like this kind of hits those points. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you some mock-ups and show you how this could live out in the world in the what if scenario that Navy had kept all their warships. So that's it. That's my what if video. If you enjoy this video, please do all the YouTube things, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share, show me some love and support. That'd be awesome. If you want to see more videos like this, or if you have suggestions for another what if logo redesign, let me know. Add your ideas in the comments below. I'll check those out. And yeah, hopefully we can get some more of these done. Thank you for watching, and I guess I'll see you next time.